Thanks for joining and welcome once again to this India Cloud Security Summit. And I'm here, Abdul Rashid Firozkan, and I welcome you all to this event. Thank you so much to you, sponsors as well, Microsoft and Pantera Technologies. And it would not be even possible without the support of these two rock stars as well on hosting, such a great event then. Well, here is something that you're going to grab as well. So I would request you to stay tuned for the entire sessions that we have and answer the quiz. So you get an opportunity to, get goodies as well. So keep stay tuned and listen to the talks, listen to the demo sessions that gets involved as well, and keep answering the questions to get on to the exciting goodies as well. Cool. So what's going to be for the day? Implementing and optimizing threat protection with Microsoft Sentinel. Yes, I'm Abdul Rashid Firozkan. I'm the founder and director of Azure, based out of India and Middle East. I'm also being recognized as a Microsoft MVP on Azure and Azure AI as well. And we do cloud consulting. We do data, working with data, and we work with more of developing AI agents as well. We run a service called Copilot Factory where we have some pre-built agents that are already available, and we serve for the customers based out of healthcare, airline industries, retail, much more. So that's about me, and you can serve for me over LinkedIn as well, and I would love to get in touch with you there. Well, what's going to be for today? I'm going to have a deep dive discussing about, Microsoft Sentinel. I just want to make sure that we go with some architectural discussions and see how this can be implemented as well. I'll be briefing you about what Sentinel is and how you can get it configured right with the data connectors and how you can put up the data collection rules. Followed by that, we will also make sense of time permits. We will make sense on how we can put up a simulated attack to validate the analytics and automation as well. So basically, what is Sentinel? I'm pretty much sure that you should have heard about the service, or if you have even got a chance to work with Sentinel, that would be really great. But still, let me give a short touch base. Sentinel is, it's said to be a solution that's like scalable. It's a cloud-based for SAEM or SOAR solution that's provided by Microsoft. So this collects, it detects, investigates, and responds to the threats across hybrid environments. And Sentinel also uses AI and machine learning for proactive threat detection there. The key benefits of Sentinel is that it's like it's a centralized visibility across. You can think about the applications running on cloud or multi-cloud environments, or even like on-premise thing. It also helps you with getting some real-time threat detection with built-in analytics, and you get SOAR capabilities like automated responses and integration with Microsoft security ecosystem. Say it gets involved with Defender or Microsoft Intra and all those stuffs. We do have like data connectors that get supported with Microsoft Sentinel. So data connectors are like pre-built integrations that ingest the logs and security data from previous, or let's say from various sources that are said to be available into Sentinel. We have around some 300 plus connectors, which includes from Microsoft and even from the third party over here. There are different types of data sources, as I said. You think about Microsoft source, it can be from Defender, it can be from Office 365, Microsoft Intra, Azure Activity Logs, right? Or you can even think about the external solutions like we have endpoint security coming up from Symantec or CrowdStrike, or we do have like custom log ingestions that we can do as well. So why this data connectors are said to be important? Data connectors are like it goes with a unified security monitoring, brings all logs into one place, and it provides you with a faster threat detection, which correlates the data from multiple sources. And we do have like the compliance and auditing that gets involved, so it helps meet regulatory requirements as well there. So that's all together. And of course, as I said before, you do have like AI and machine learning capabilities. So it goes with user entity behavior analytics. It detects the insider threats and identifies the unusual activities as well that would be available. Cool. Let's go ahead. We will try implementing this Microsoft Sentinel and see, how we can work with the connectors all. So I want to go with this implementation, a quick task where we're going to initialize the Microsoft Sentinel workspace initially. So you'll be deploying the Sentinel workspace, and the solution will be like we are going to ensure the Sentinel data is stored in the Azure data center region. We will ensure that all Sentinel analytics logs are retained for some particular days, let's say 180 days, something like that. And we will also see how we can assign the roles to, any of an operator who can manage the incidents and run Sentinel playbooks there. At top of this, we will also be making sense about the data connectors over here. So we will install, probably I will take some three solutions. We could think about connectors, which are Windows security events. We can think about Azure Activity Connector, and finally the Microsoft Defender for Cloud as well. So this is like it configures the data connector for Azure Activity to apply all the new and existing resource that we would be having in the subscription. We can configure the data connector for Defender, which is for cloud, to connect to the Azure subscription and ensure that only bidirectional sync is set to be enabled. And finally, we will also enable an analytics rule based on the suspicious number of resource creation, or let's say the deployment activity templates as well. So the rule should run every hour, okay, for every hour, and only look up the data for the last hour then. So that ensures that the Azure Activity Workbook is available in, the workspace that gets configured then. So let's quickly go. We will see it over the portal. And let me go to the portal here. Give me a minute. And if at all, if you have any questions, please feel free to post it on the chat. Or if not, I will even hold on to the last probably 5 or 10 minutes to listen to you if you have any questions there. So let me get my Azure portal here. Yes, I hope you could see my screen. I'm there with my Azure portal. Come on. Oops. Sec. Yeah, cool. So here is set to be the Azure portal. Then basically what I'm going to do is that I will create a log analytics workspace. So I could either go here, say, create a new resource and look for, log analytics workspace. Let's get this created. I hope you could see this. We have the log analytics workspace. So let me get onto this. And we could say create then. I will put on a resource group for this. Let me say India Cloud Security Summit 2025 resource group. And name as well. So India Cloud Security Summit Workspace 2025. At a data center region, which is set to be West US. And let's get this created now. So that's said to be, where it collects all the logs. Okay, the previous name was, we used to refer to it as OMS, operational and management shoot that we had, which used to do a health checkup. And now we have upgraded this, coming on with a log analytics, which has application insights, and you could even run queries at top of this, right? Hope you heard about the previous sessions where we have been speaking about KQL. Nandeep and Smita was speaking about, right? So we have like cluster query languages which we can run at top of this. So let's deploy this, and then we will try connecting the Sentinel towards this particular workspace. I'll wait for this deployment. All right, so this has been deployed. We have the workspace ready, and now I can go to the Sentinel. So let me open up the Sentinel here. I can say create a resource, look for Microsoft Sentinel. Right, let's open this. And oops, okay, let me do it here. Yeah, we have Sentinel. And say create a Microsoft Sentinel workspace. Creating a service where we are going to connect it towards, can you find this? It says that you need to connect this towards an existing workspace. So let me say I will pick this and say add, where we can add the workspace then. So there at top of that, we can assign a Microsoft Sentinel role towards the user there. Remember, I told you that we have some role-based access control where you can either put up the default roles that are set to be available, or you can still go, you can say you need to add a service principal or some custom roles to be added up. We can work with any of those things. So basically, you can go to the resource group that you find here. I could see this ICSS, the one which we created, 2025 resource group. And I can open up, the log analytics, right? So I have the option here where I can go, I can try opening up the log analytics, or we could say access control and add a role assignment for this. See, add role assignment. And thereon, we can look for, Microsoft Sentinel, probably a contributor one, right? Can you find this? We have Microsoft Sentinel contributor. And let me click on next. I can invite users. Probably for this demo, I will keep at it myself. Okay. So I'm adding my ID, or if not, if you need somebody else to add up, you can call up their name, or I mean email ID, group, or service principal, whatever. So let's say select, and if you need, I mean, for your meta understanding, you can keep up a description to be added up, and thereon we could go, having review with assign, where you can validate the things that you have given up and get this user assignment permission to be added up. And remember, I also told you that you need to keep the data to be retained, right? You can number the days where you want to keep the data to be retained. So let's go to this resource group, open up, the log analytics workspace, and we can go with usage and estimated cost. So here is something where you can find data retention. So select data retention, and we can keep, like 180 days. You're getting it right. So it's all about like your. It depends on the pricing plan as well. So as much as you keep it retained for the data, your application sites data, you're gonna pay for it. So let's say okay to get this added up then. So this is quickly where you go. You keep your Sentinel to be up, adding role assignments all. Now remember, I was speaking about data. Let me open up this. See, I was speaking about the data connectors, and I told you that we'll be configuring these three data connectors there. Windows Security Event connectors, Azure Activity connectors, and then the Microsoft Defender as well. So in order to do this, as of now, we have the Sentinel, we are connected with the workspace. So I would directly go, I can stick onto the content management. So let's go to the Sentinel. So here is my solution. And well, give me a minute. I will go to the Sentinel. Yeah, let's open this. Can you find this? We have the content management. And thereon, we have the content hub, right? Hope you could see this. We have the content hub. And this is exactly where we can add, connectors. So I told you like there are like 300 plus connectors that are set to be available. You could even find it for, the cross platforms. I mean, the multi-cloud that's available. So let me go here and I can say, I want to look for some data connectors probably. Okay. So let me say Windows security, which is set to be the first one that I told you. Windows security events. Let's select this, right? And then I can say install this. I repeat, so I will select this and will say I need to keep this installed. You can find the status here, right? It gets installed, installing one item. We shall wait for it. All right, there we go. Now I can go, I can manage this, right? I can say view details where we can find, the Windows security events, and we can say create, on which we can put on the resource group and select the workspace on which it has to have the data to be collected. So let's go here, pick the resource group. Cloud Security Summit and the workspace. So here's my workspace, which I created now. And then let's go to the next. You find data connectors and the workbooks. You can make sense about what workbooks are going to be installed and what insights will be collected on that top of it. And then we have the analytics as well, right? So this installs the analytics rules for you. And then the hunting queries, right? The solution installs the hunting queries for you here. And finally, there we go, having this security events to be connected with the workspace. So let me say create, and we get the Sentinel added up with, the Windows security events. So this is one connector. And remember, I told you a couple of more. We need to work with Azure Activity, and we also need to work with Microsoft Defender for Cloud then. Let's wait for this. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, you can keep it posted. I'm just checking the chat. Well, okay, we are good for now. Wonderful. So now let me go. I'll try the same. So it makes sense. I would say go to Sentinel and open up the Content Hub again. We have the Content Hub here, and I can look for. Remember, I said I will add Azure Activity, and yes, let's search for it. There we go. We have Azure Activity. So let's say install. Okay, let me wait for this. Yeah, done. Now let's say view details. Get this connected with the workspace again. So click on create. And just repeating the same, we need to put on the results group, right? So the results group here and calling up the workspace then. Yeah, we are good. Let's click on create to get this added in. All right, sounds good. And one more which we can try is probably I would try with a Defender. Okay, so I will go here and yeah, let's try opening up the Sentinel, go for the Content Hub again and say I need to add, Microsoft Defender for remote. So there we go. We can say install then. Well, so that's done. Now I will keep the workspace connected. So let's go for this, say create. And we got to pick the results group then, followed by that, the workspace, and get this created. Okay, so let's say create. At top of that, we could go, we can set up, the data connector for the Azure activity. So I have these things added up and I'll go to the connector page, right? And we can connect the subscription. We can try adding up about the policy assignments, all the steps. So what I would do is, yeah, this is done. You see deployment succeeded, right? Let's wait for this. Yeah, we are good. Now let's go to the Sentinel again. and towards the content hub, right? And we can set the status. Say I have a filter here, so I will set it for removing all these things. Go for installed alone. Okay, I'll just go for the installed solutions alone to be shown here. You could then see the three. Can you find this? Oops. Yeah, you could see Azure Activity. We have Defender and the Windows security events, which we have been speaking about. So let me say I will go for Azure Activity and open up Manage. And there on you get a connector page, right? So let's wait. Yeah, you get this. So you see like, Azure Activity, and then it lists up, the templates that would be available. You can say you want to open the connector page for this. And there, this is set to be the configuration area, which gives you an instruction on how you can get this configured. So we need to connect the subscription, right? And then we have to take up this towards the next step then. So you can say launch this policy wizard where we can put up the policy assignments. So go to the basics plate where we need to keep the scope and the permissions to be added up all. So let's click here over the scope, and we need to pick the subscription. See, here is my subscription and the resource group where we have the workspace. So let's say select. And this is all like optional where you can select the resource. You can exclude the resource which you don't want to collect the data from. And followed by that, we can put up the policy definitions, right? All those things can be done here. So I'm just adding up, with the basics, giving up the subscription. And then I would even say we need to put up the version. So let's click here and we can pick the version, right? I will say take the version here, and the assignment name, let it be a default name. So this is going to stream the logs and get, the data to be retained with your log analytics workspace. Next, I will go to the parameters, and here is where you need to pick the workspace for your primary log analytics. So let's go pick the workspace there. Hold on, it's getting loaded. Yeah, hope you can see this workspace, and let's get this selected as well. Followed by that, I can then go, the remediation where we can create a remediation task. Okay, so say create a remediation task, and you get this. Since the rules have been predefined, we get this, by default. And we could then give up the permissions with managed identity. Either you do it like system assigned, or the user is going to assign it. And followed by that, again, the data center region to put up the same. Finally, let's go get this created then. Well, so this is about your setting up the data connector for Azure Activity. What in case if you want to do it for Defender then, right? We will see how we can configure the data connector for Microsoft Defender, which ensures that only the incident management is going to be configured. Okay, so let's go back, open up the Sentinel again, go to the content management then, and say Content Hub. And here again, status, let's go for installed. Let's say apply. Can you see this? We have Defender. So let's open this. Just same like before, right? Go to the manage and pick up again the subscription that we have there. You get a connectors page. So subscription based Defender, and open the connector there. Right now, okay, let me wait for this. Yeah, we have the sponsorship. Let's set the status to be connected. I need to track the logs. Okay, so I'm just keeping this to be enabled. There we go. So we have given connect, and yeah, pretty much good. So followed by this, you also need to make sure that bidirectional sync is enabled. Okay, this is about to send the data, so keep this enabled as well, and that's all set to be good then. At top of this, we can create an analytics tool. So let me open another new tab. Okay, let's go up here. Go to the Sentinel then, open up the Sentinel workspace, right? See, in Sentinel, you have configuration then, and you could find analytics. So here is where we can create an analytics tool. So I'm going to create an analytics rule based on the let's say any kind of unusual or let's say some suspicious number of resource creation or deployment activities template would be available, right? So the rule should run every hour, as I said, and it should look up for the data only for that last hour then. So I could go here and there with the analytics, and we see this rule templates here. So let's go for this. And there, remember I told you I can say number of resource creation. Okay. So number of, you know, resource creation. Yes. Suspicious number of resource creation. I see this here, right? Yeah. Can you see this suspicious number of resource creation or deployment activities? So let's select this and then we can say create a rule. So I repeat, I select this, right click here, say create a rule then. With that, we can leave the defaults, which is set to be in the general, and go to the set rule logic. We have the rule query. Okay, so we are going to set it up here. Hope you can see this. So I would say the query results. See, this query is written by default, or you can even ask Copilot, it can help you out. Okay, we are no more in a days where we are writing any kind of queries. And here is about scheduling, running the query for every 1 hour. Okay, and look up the data for the last, let's say 1 hour again, or yeah, 1 hour. That's right. Yeah, let's do that. So that's about query scheduling that runs automatically. And then let's set the incident settings, right? So this is about the triggers for the incident settings and the alerting steps. Let me go. You do have like automated response where it says like what when the rule gets triggered, right? When an incident happens, what's going to be the action that you're going to take it up. And finally, you go up here, you get the schedule to be up. Let's say save, and that's going to be up there. So this is about analytics rule. Now, at top of this, we also need to ensure that the Azure Activity Workbook is available, in your workbook. So to do that, you have the content management again. You can go to the Content Hub, uh, set the status again, right, for the installed alone. We don't need all these things. So let me set it for installed and open up, the Azure activity that you find here. Go for manage. You get the configuration then. Excuse me. Go to manage. Yeah, you see this Azure activity. Let's select this and you get a configuration panel for it. Open connector page. Right, we get this configuration. Yeah, this has been configured then. Okay, and you see like queries that gets run. So we can find all those things over here. So I repeat, you're gonna have this workspace added up. You're gonna put up the rule templates, right? And we also ensure that the Azure Activity Workbook is set to be available in, my workbooks over here. Cool, that sounds good. We could also validate the Sentinel then, right? Let's say we need to validate the Microsoft Sentinel deployment. So what we could do is, let's say you need to validate the Sentinel deployment to meet few requirements. What in case if you want to configure the Windows security events with help of connector to collect all the security events from only a VM named VM1, something like that, or you create a NRT rule query. Okay, so that's like a real-time query to generate an instant response based on the query then. So let me go for this once again, the Sentinel. And you see we have configuration, and there you have the data connectors. So remember I told you that we are going to collect from the Windows security events for the VM. So let's say Windows security events, right? And let me go up here. I can say open the connectors page. And thereon, we're going to create a new data connection rule. So come here, click on create data connection rule and set a rule name here. Okay. So in the basics, you can put up a rule name And you can pick the resource group as well. Let me say ICSS rule one, something like that. Or let's say even VM rule one, and pick up the resource group, okay, where you have the workspace. Go to the resource. So here is where you can pick the resource. Probably I told you like a VM, but I'm just wondering if I have a VM here. Give me a minute. I don't think I would be having it. Let's see. Or if that's not there, then I need to spin up a VM. Okay. But then you make sense in a theoretical way where we go, we can filter the resource. So here I don't have anything. Let me again pick it up. Or maybe some other resource. This is all like I have something on the production. Okay, let me say docbot. I have containers there. It's trying to make sense about the resource that's said to be available, but just makes sense. You could then go, you have like collect over here. You can say what kind of data streams that you would be collecting on. I mean, events. Okay. So you can say all security events or a minimal, or you could say even custom and can try writing up those things over here, the expressions to be here. So this is about collecting, configuring for the data collection rules in Microsoft Sentinel. If at all, if you want to do this on near real-time query, okay, so then it's going to be the same. You go to the Sentinel again, you have the configuration, and what makes sense is go to analytics, okay? So you need to go for analytics and say again, create, can you find this? NRT query rule there. So you click on this. It was previously on preview. Now it's good. Okay. We have a general release. Now we can give a name for this, right? Uh, Once again, I can say rule two something, and we can set a description for our understanding. And this is where we can filter it, right? You have tactics and techniques, and you can set the rule logics, okay, and severity as well. So we are defining those things. So let's say next and set the rule logic, and you write the query as well here. Probably I can say security, right? I repeat again, this we can even check it with Copilot if you're not familiar with that. So let's say event ID, right? You can set up an event ID, which would be something, right? Let's say 4732 something. Oops. Something like this. And I can then say where target account, right? Target account will be, uh, let's say, built-in slash uh, administrator something, right? I keep this added up. It's evaluating the query then. Then we can go, we can say that you get the incident settings. You can say you want to set an alert or you want to take a response on top of it and get this created. Hope you're able to make sense, right? So this is about NRT. Provided automation is that you again go to Sentinel, you have automation. Hope you could see this. So you can configure automation. You can set an automation rule over here, or you can even assign owners for it. This is more about like performing some actions. Okay, you want to take up some actions at top of any again unsuspicious activity that gets happen on your workspace or on your Sentinel, your resource that you have configured towards the same. Finally, at top of these things, we do have like you can perform. I just want to close up as we have a short time. We can perform even the analytic rules. You can try doing some simulated attacks as well. Maybe if you have a VM or something, I don't have a virtual machine, but I can wait. Let me see. No, I don't have a VM. Maybe if you have a VM or if you have a container, right, you could go for this and you can select operations. Hold on. Okay, run command. No, that's not it. Maybe if I have a VM, I can go to run command, I can run a PowerShell script at top of the VM and try doing a simulated attack then. So that will be again, hit over the response for the Sentinel there. So you can find it. And you could even find like, the actions. If you have configured any kind of actions to be taken, then it gets listed up there. So this is altogether like how you can, a kickstart on how you can go try doing a deep dive with log analytics, working with, the workspace, deploying the Sentinel, coming up with a content hub solution, having the connectors to be added up. So we tried like adding some three connectors over here, which was Windows security events, right, Azure activity, and we were also trying about validating them, right, and seeing about the analytics rules. So I want to stop with this and listen to you if you have any questions. Yeah, Samik, thanks for that. Any questions for me? Cool. Sounds good. I will be still available here. So this is something which we have been discussing about. And thank you so much for the sponsors as well. And thanks for Samik too, who has been helping us for moderating throughout the session. And followed by this, we have the next session, which is going to be by Keshav and Aditya, who is going to speak about the governance, compliance, and risk management, which is more of, interactive with the real-time, industry compliance that we have. I'll be here available for another. We have almost like 9 minutes of time left off. So if you have any questions or something, feel free to keep me posted.
All right. So anyone, if you have any questions, please feel free to share that in the chat. While we have Feroz here, I'd like to thanks a lot, Feroz, for your time and have this wonderful session. Um, I would request maybe Aditya and Keshav to quickly do a tech check if they are already joined the session.
Hi, Samir. Good afternoon. I'm in the session.
Hi, Samik.